Hello, this is Dave House, the Director of Online and Extended Learning here at Husson University. Purpose of this video is to show you how to use the attendance feature in Canvas. As you know, the attendance feature is something we expect instructors to use in their Canvas classes, and it helps with keeping track of not only student attendance for your classroom purposes, but it also assists us in getting that real-time data for advisors and for our compliance with federal student loan guidelines. So it is important that you keep regular attendance in your classes, and this is an easy way to do it. Every course that you have at Husson comes with its own Canvas shell, and you'll see it here. Now, you'll need to publish this before you send the course live, so you would click this button that says Publish, and that would make the course available. In order to use the attendance feature, you would go to the day, so you can find the attendance panel here. Now, this applies for face-to-face or hybrid courses when you have a face-to-face component in the hybrid course. So for online classes, you would not be using the attendance feature because they're asynchronous. You keep attendance by them logging in and participating in discussions and things, and so you wouldn't use this tool. So it's important to make sure that the attendance toolbar here, or button, stays active. So don't hide it in your navigation. It's not a feature that students see, it's a feature that faculty see. So if I'm to click on this, it will take us to our attendance section. Now you'll notice that on this list, the names of students have been blurred out, so as to protect their identities. That's not we're not interested in their identities in this case, just how to keep attendance. So very simply, you can use this to keep attendance, and all you would do is click on the students next to the little toggle here to mark as present or not present, or perhaps all of your students are present today, so you would just click on the mark all present, and you'll see all of the green bars light up. If you made a mistake, you can unmark all. Or let's say you've got everyone except one student, you can mark all present, and then just physically click that one student. And that says that student's not attending with the red X. Click it again, and that means the student is late. You can click it back to this gray thing. This gray thing just means that you didn't take attendance, so it doesn't mean that the student is absent. So be careful to notice that absent is the red X, late is the yellow clock. That means I didn't take attendance as a faculty member, and the green check means present. Now, you can also use the late. For example, I used the late feature myself, and to indicate when my students have an excused absence. You can also set your late settings by going to the gear over here where it says roll call settings, and you can adjust. So if you count lateness as 0% of a presence, you might just say 0, say late but 0. Or if you count it as full, you can use the slider to adjust it. The default is 80%. Now you can also, especially if you have a larger class, they have a feature here where you can go up to the link here. Notice how this says list and this says class. You can click class, and notice you're presented with a seating chart. Student names are on the left, and there is a grid representing seats in your classroom. And you can physically increase the size or decrease the size, but you can physically move your students into a seating chart. So let's say I have tables in my classroom and they seat 2 students. And this is the front of the room. This is the back of the room. And so now I've arranged my students in there. So when I arrive on my class, instead of taking attendance this way, I might find it easier to use my seating chart that I've made. And you still have the same options. I can mark all present. I can unmark all. I can individually mark students as needed. I can also edit my seating chart again by going back to Edit Seating Chart. So taking attendance means I set to take attendance. Editing my seating chart means that I can still move students around. Let's say I've noticed some shifts in the seating, moved it around. And if you want to redo this whole chart or move students off, you can just drag each student into this green section and they go back to the list. It's a fairly intuitive tool, but there are a few tricks, and hopefully you've seen them. You also will notice that it will use whatever the present date is. So if you need to jump ahead or check a due date or check a date on attendance, you can use the calendar to move to that date. It's very important that you have the correct date. Now, when you do this and you have this attendance feature, this will show up as a graded item in your grades. If you don't want it to be that, if you don't want attendance to count, see how this says roll call attendance 100 points. Here's what you can do. I go to the roll call attendance, edit assignment settings, and what I can say is that it's worth 0 points. I can display the grade. I can also say that it's not graded. Now, one of the other things that you can do when you go to SpeedGrader, so as to keep students from getting notified every single time they have a setting, you can also mute this. So the little bell up top here means that every time you change it, it won't give a submission comment or anything to the student every time you take attendance or change their mark. And that's how attendance works in Canvas. It's a powerful tool. It's one that really assists us in checking in on student success, and it's something we are requiring faculty to do.